welcome back to another edition of Comic Confidential, the weekly podcast where we bring you the hottest comic book, movie, and TV action. I'm your host, Cade, and alongside me today, as always, is Troy.
What's going on?
Mate, it is a big week.
Big week.
We reviewed Solo.
We did.
We're talking some Walking Dead.
We are.
We got our Penguin talk on.
Damn straight we do.
And we're introducing a little new segment, probably in about 20 words.
Yeah, pretty much. We can get straight into that. Yeah? Unless you've got a fantastic life story that you want to get out of the way.
No, not at all. I've had a very boring week.
Excellent. Me too. So we'll move right into it. We've created a new segment, you guys, and it's called What Are You Looking At?
Oh, wait, that was not how I pictured you doing it.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's called What Are You Looking At? And basically, it's just a section where we talk about things that we're looking at with our eyeballs.
Yeah, nice.
TV shows, comics, what are we reading? What are we watching? What are we, getting into?
Yeah. And it's kind of like this is by popular demand.
Yeah, we've had a lot of feedback. It's like, hey, you guys have this comic book podcast.
When was the last time you guys actually talked about a comic book?
And it's like, we review all the hottest comic book movie and TV action. What TV action? When was the last time you got into some TV stuff? So we're going to do a little bit of that at the start of the show, and we're going to get into it now. So, Cade, what are you looking at?
Hey, what am I looking at? Troy, I am looking at the finale of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
You're a bit behind, champ.
Well, I did watch this a little while ago, but I haven't got the chance to talk about it.
Okay.
Wow.
Wowzers, indeed.
Yeah, I don't know, I feel like it might have been a little bit underwhelming in the sense that potentially could have been a series finale.
Well, that's kind of what they didn't know if they were going to get renewed.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, we have to play this out like it could end here. So that's kind of how they went with it. And
if you weren't really paying attention, spoilers for Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
It's been out for, I feel like it's been out for
it's
enough
probably
weeks.
Even aired on Australian TV by now.
No.
You're at least a month behind.
Not yet, but yeah.
But if you weren't really paying attention and the whole Fitz thing,
yeah, you
wouldn't realize that he's still alive.
Yeah, technically. It took me, once the episode finished, I'm like, hang on, what? How are they going to see Fitz and how did he not die? And then it took me a bit to realize that, because of the events and them changing the timeline, there's still an alternate timeline that technically exists, which means there's a Fitz that's frozen, which means all they need to do is find him. But I figure, shouldn't they know where he is?
He's in that lighthouse.
Yeah. But do they need to find, I thought they said he was in space or something. That's kind of why it was so confusing.
The lighthouse goes into space, I thought. See, this is what I mean, man.
So I was a little bit confused by the whole thing. I get what they mean by there's a frozen Fitz, but little Fitz popsicle, Fitz-tickle. Just give him a lick.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I don't know. But I liked it. I thought it was good. I thought it would have been a fitting enough finale if that was how it's going to end. But we do know we're getting a season 6. So
yeah. Reduced season, but hey, you know what? I'm going to take it.
It is what it is.
A little disappointed we didn't get a Ghost Rider, though.
Oh, anything. I guess my biggest thing is, we called it a few weeks back when we spoke about what, we were going to expect in the finale. And we were talking about how, was it going to tie in with Infinity War? Was it not? We said, nah, I bet you it just skips it. Or maybe I did. I don't know what happened. But yeah, it does. It just skips it completely. It doesn't even reference it at all. And now it can come back after the events of Avengers 4 and just do whatever it wants to do. Because it's not coming back till later in 2019.
Yeah, so, exactly.
Yeah. So now it gets to do what it wants to do. Couple of questions for you.
Okay.
Coulson, dead?
No.
No.
Well,
no
May's
chance.
May's there.
She can't save him.
Yeah, but
save him with that sweet loving.
Oh yeah.
She's just gonna she's gonna love him to life.
Oh, I like that.
That's nice. But that's not what I meant. The sexy way.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? What have you been watching or?
Oh no, I had a second
looking
question.
at?
I had a second question. How would you rate the season? Hit, shit, or split?
Last season was better.
Season 4?
Yeah. So this one, I'm going to split on it.
Yeah. Okay. Could you stop saying I'm going to split on it?
No way.
It puts this image in my head. You say it all the time. And it's like I don't know if it's a DVD case of season 5 of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and you're just doing
lowering
the
on
splits.
it.
And,
you know it.
Yeah, I don't want to see that.
Yeah, look, I didn't enjoy it as much as the previous season, but that previous season is so hard to beat.
Oh, yeah. I'd still hit it. I'd still call it a hit because it's still, even being weaker than season 4, it's still so much better than most of the other comic book TV shows on TV at the moment.
Don't get me wrong, because everything else falls into the shit section.
not everything, but most things.
Most things.
Yeah. What am I doing? What am I watching?
What are you watching?
Oh, man, I'm watching so many things right now. Like, I do have quite a few things on the go. One thing that you might be proud of is that I've actually finally I've knuckled down. It's on Stan, and I'm like, you know what? I'm going to fucking knock out 10 seasons of The Office.
Wow.
I'm doing it. The US Office.
Are you loving it?
Well, I've only just started. So this is Friday. I did it. I started yesterday, knocked out season 1. It's only 6 episodes. So, knocked out season 1. So I'm liking it, man. Like, it's good. It's familiar, which is weird because I haven't seen it, but I feel like I've seen enough on TV here and there, and then memes, all of it. So it's still very, very familiar.
And you watched all the Parks and Recreation, so that's based off like a template of The Office.
Yeah, pretty much. So it's got that format too, I guess.
Yeah, definitely.
So I'm really digging that. I also went back and I've started to watch Deadwood, which is on Stan, I think, or maybe it's Netflix. It's on one of those, which came out way back in like 2005. Lasted about 3 seasons before it got canned. Still holds the record, the network record for the amounts of fucks said.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like heaps.
Like that's the official total.
Heaps. Yeah, they're just like, it's on the plaque.
Wow.
It's like
impressive.
Heaps of fucks.
Heaps of fucks. All the fucks were given and said.
But yeah, it's a absolutely fantastic cast that's in it. Everybody was like screaming to death when it got like cancelled after 3 seasons.
Really?
Yeah. So I decided I'm gonna check out a few things I haven't seen.
Well, guess what?
What?
I don't want to brag, but I kind of finished 2 books this week.
Damn.
Yeah.
That's a lot of books.
It's a lot of books.
What are they? I bet you they're boring design books.
Well, one was called Crushing It.
Yeah.
But that was like a bit poo.
Yeah. I think you mentioned that a few weeks back, maybe.
Yeah, it's taken me the longest time to finish it, and I was just, like, I ran out of internet juice.
Yeah.
I have to read.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that's going to get me through the next week or 2.
Yeah.
So I finished that book, and I also finished I Am Legend on audiobook.
Oh, okay. Interesting. How's that?
The movie is way better.
Oh, really?
Like, insanely better.
Damn. I didn't think that was the common consensus.
Yeah, well, go back and if you have a chance,
I don't.
You should check it out and be like, why am I doing this?
I don't have the time to do that. I've heard the ending is really different.
Oh, completely
different to the movie. Yeah, not interested.
No.
Can I ask you this?
Sure.
Are you crushing it now?
Only the scales.
Nice. I myself have been reading some comics.
Hey.
Bit of comic book talk on this comic
Holy
book
moly.
podcast, right? So I have mentioned a couple of these before, but I have continued on with my reading. So I'm currently up to volume 3 of Deadly Class by Rick Remender, which I'm really enjoying. Everything that I read comes through pretty much Comixology or Marvel Unlimited or something like that. So I don't get the kind of the love and the feel of having the real-timey comics in my hand.
Yeah.
But I am still digging it. So Deadly Class, that's happening. I'm still into volume 3 of about 1,700 volumes of Saga from Brian K. Vaughan, and I'm really digging that too. That's like something I've never really read before. It's like completely different. And I'm also into Tom Taylor's all-new Wolverine. I'm about 15 issues deep, and I'm digging it, and that was a recommendation from one of the listeners, Imogen.
There you go.
Yep. So there you go.
Well, look, I'm about to start Irredeemable.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I've logged into my login of Comixology.
Yeah.
And, Irredeemable is sitting right there.
Nice.
For my good eyes.
I have read it all. It is quite good.
Yeah, I think this might have been a recommendation of yours.
It probably was, yeah. It was definitely a comic of the week back in the day.
Yes.
That used to be a thing, so yeah.
And another one that you recommended is Champions.
Yeah.
Got that on there too.
Nice. Go out and check that out. Get it in you.
Shocking news out of Hollywood, Troy.
Oh, what's that?
I don't know if it's actually out of Hollywood, but Walking Dead fans should be scared.
Oh, yeah, that is out of Hollywood, technically.
Is it?
Yeah.
Okay. Not out of, like,
Well, it's out of Atlanta.
Yeah.
Technically, that's where they film it, but yeah, it's Atlanta by way of Hollywood.
Okay. Shocking news out of AMC Studios.
Yes.
There we
That'll
go.
do. What's happening?
Andrew Lincoln is departing The Walking Dead. This is the main character, Troy.
The main guy.
The main man.
And from all reports, it's his choice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? He's just basically said,
I'm done.
I saw season 8. Fuck that. I'm out. Yeah, like, what else can you say?
Oh, well, that's pretty fair. He's probably like, I rocked up to work for 3 days and you somehow dragged that shit over a season.
Yeah. And, like, I think at some point, like, he has been doing this for 8 seasons, right? So that's a long time. And, like, I know they're only 13 episode seasons or something like that. So it's not like it's this 22 hour-long episodes over the course of a season sort of thing where they're killing themselves for, like, 10 months of the year. But they're still out there and they're out in the Atlanta friggin' sun, which I'm assuming is hot because they're always sweaty as crap.
Oh, yeah.
Maybe they're being sprayed down. I don't know. But, at some point you just go, hey, can't I just shave my beard?
Yeah, this thing is so itchy and it's so hot.
Yeah, but look, I get it. I get it in the sense of you've been doing it for a long time, but it's kind of like, what the hell does the show do now?
Yeah, like, could season 9 be the last season of The Walking Dead?
Let me rephrase could with should.
Ooh.
Season 9 be the last season of The Walking Dead?
Yes.
Do you like what? So let's just talk about the reports for a second, because what's basically being said is that AMC are kind of shoving a truckload of money at Norman Reedus to take over the spot as the main character on the show.
Oh, really?
And I've heard reports of up to $20 million.
No.
Yeah. $20 million.
He's going to do it. He'll do it.
For him to sign a contract. Well, what else is the guy going to do?
Exactly.
I honestly don't think I've seen Norman Reedus in one movie.
And he was like a pedophile.
Oh, I don't know that.
He
What's that movie?
He played like a truck driver in it.
A truck driving pedophile.
Yeah.
Who makes these movies?
It was like a comedy movie.
That doesn't sound fun.
You can use your Google.
I won't. Do you think I'm going to use my Google for truck driving pedophile Norman Reedus movie? You know what I mean?
Why not?
I don't want the FBI jumping through my roof.
Fair call.
But yeah, so apparently they've thrown him a truckload of money for that. So it's likely that he'll probably take that and go, carry the baton and whatnot. But would you, as the creators of the show, knowing that you're about to lose your Rick Grimes and therefore make pretty much most of the comic book irrelevant, what do you do? Do you just write it out? Just write out the season. That's it. Do it.
Yeah, maybe. Like, there's a couple of ways they could really go about this, because they could maybe write him out into Fear the Walking Dead with like what they did with Morgan.
Right.
Which, like, that TV show's totally kicking goals. Or they could do like a spin-off.
Right.
Of him just like riding his Harley across the zombie countryside.
Oh. Do we really want to see that?
I do.
I feel like after 8 seasons of Norman Reedus being this, and look, I don't know the guy. I'm sure he's like really nice, but he just seems like this really kind of like greasy, smelly, kind of like, but somehow heartthrob. You know what I mean? He's the greasiest, smelliest heartthrob I've ever seen in my life. People like love him, and it's like the dude needs like a haircut about 5 seasons ago.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean? But he still manages to kind of somehow be this leading man.
Oh, Troy, I want Carol and him on the road, riding off into the sunset.
As a spin-off.
As a spin-off.
Oh, God.
The Adventures of Carol and Daryl.
Look, no.
And that really uneasy sexual tension of like, maybe she's old enough to be my mum, but I don't know, because how old's Norman and how old is she?
Norman Reedus is like 50 years old.
No, he's not.
He is. He's 50.
No wonder he's a heartthrob.
Like, he's dead set. He is very, very, very late 40s, early 50s.
Wow.
I promise you. And Carol would be about the same. She was in Dawson's Creek.
Was she really?
Once upon a time.
Oh, yeah, she was too, wasn't she?
Yeah, only for a very, very short arc. Might have only been 1 episode, actually.
Maybe. guest appearance in the background.
Yeah. And so we basically know that Andrew Lincoln is only going to appear in six of the episodes over the course of this season.
They'll be very minimal, I bet.
Or will it be spread over the course of the entire season? Will they try to, effectively drag out his scenes as they are wont to do with some storylines over the course of an entire season?
Yeah, of course they will. There'll be like Rick episodes, then there'll be Maggie episodes, who we'll talk about in a second.
Oh, yeah, we're going to get there.
Then there'll be Michonne episodes.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, man. It doesn't bode well, really, does it? And it doesn't bode well because it has been officially announced that Lauren Cohen will be leaving in season 9 as well, and will also have a reduced number of episodes as well in season 9. So she's gone.
Damn.
She's had her new TV show picked up, so she's going to be off to do that. And it's kind of like, okay, well, there's 2 of your main kind of 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
People gone.
Gone.
I mean, you could classify Michonne as a she's been around for a while.
Yeah,
she's never really been one of the big 3.
Yeah,
and that because you can get rid of Carl now because he's gone. Spoilers for season 8. Sorry, he's dead. But yeah, that's it. That's your main 3, and you're losing 2. Show's done.
Maybe it's Rick and Maggie riding off into the sunset.
It's like a Rick and Morty spinoff.
Yeah,
Rick and Maggie.
Yes,
I'd pay good money for that.
I'll see that.
The Adventures of Rick and Maggie. Yeah, why not? as long as it's written by Dan Harmon and Justin Roiland, I'll be in. And voiced by them as well.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Voiced by Justin Roiland. I don't know, man. If it was me, I'd be done with it.
Totally.
I would be looking to flip this season and go, all right, we might have had plans for the future, but hey, let's get back to the drawing board. Let's rewrite this. Let's go out with a bang, you guys. Cade, big news out of Gotham City.
Big news?
Big news. Big potential news.
Oh, really?
Out of Gotham City, yeah. It's been...
Emperor-sized news?
What?
Emperor-sized news.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Just going to move on. It's been kind of reported. So Justin Kroll from Variety reported that sources close to him are telling him that it seems likely that the Penguin is going to be popping up in a Warner Brothers DC Films universe movie sooner rather than later. And it's basically all pointing towards either Matt Reeves' Batman or Birds of Prey.
So they're going to make us wait all this time for the Batman series to drop.
Yeah.
And the villain's going to be the Penguin.
You don't like the Penguin? Really?
I don't know how he's going to fit into this universe.
Are you tainted by Gotham?
No, because he's cool in Gotham.
Yeah, but it's not about being cool.
Yeah,
he's got to be more kind of he needs to be more Danny DeVito-ish.
Yeah, if it's not Danny DeVito, I'm not on board.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah. Well, actually, this is, and we'll come back around to this, but Andy Serkis, fan favorite to take the role.
Really?
Yeah, think about that for a second.
Okay, now I'm on board.
Yeah.
But it's kind of been alluded to that the Penguin was almost a joke of a villain.
Yeah.
To the Batman.
But I think because if you look at Matt Reeves' Batman, right, and how it's supposed to be this kind of neo-noirish kind of detective storyline. Then you take a gangster like Oswald Cobblepot, it probably works in well with that. And then you take this kind of you've got this darker sort of grittier DC universe, which, look, might not necessarily happen. It depends on how they decide to take it, but it's a Batman movie. It's got to be dark.
Yeah, it's got to be dark.
Yeah, exactly.
This DC universe is perfect for Batman.
Yeah, exactly. So then you get yourself a darker, more disturbed kind of version of the Penguin, and I'm sold, mate.
What would you expect from this Penguin?
Oh, fish.
Yeah.
Like wind-up penguin blow-up toys.
Surely.
Because remember that I think it's Ben Affleck, actually. It's him who says, oh no, it's actually Alfred.
Yeah,
sorry.
it's Alfred.
Yeah,
He says remember when your biggest concern was little wind-up penguins.
Yeah, exactly. So it's been referenced.
Yeah.
And there is a lot of talk about how the Batman is going to be set prior to any of the events of any of this happening.
Yes.
So that's cool. Like, that works out well.
Oh, absolutely.
And then if you bring in, little wind-up penguin toys that, explode and whatnot, that's even better.
I like that.
I'm down.
Yeah?
And, maybe you could go as far as, maybe, sure, it could be a human performance, like a live-action performance by Andy Serkis, or it could be completely mocapped. And
I want it 50-50.
You could really freak up the penguin.
Oh, yeah, like he's like some kind of mutant.
Yeah.
Kind of like a killer croc, but like killer penguin.
Yeah, that's not
That's
where I was
what I
going.
want. That's what I want.
Not where I was going, but yeah. And it also works in well if they do decide to go with Birds of Prey, because basically what Justin Kroll is saying with Birds of Prey is that there have been multiple scripts for Birds of Prey submitted, and one of them does have the penguin as the main villain, and it really seems that that's where they're trying to go.
That makes more sense to me because the Penguin, he's kind of like a gangster of Gotham.
Yeah.
Like, he runs the underworld. He has that little section to him.
Yeah.
With Birds of Prey, that seems to be a better fit for that, in my opinion.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah, definitely.
I guess kind of, because they are technically all bad themselves. You know what I mean? A little bit anti-hero.
Yeah, and that's where I think it works well is because, like, maybe the Penguin's trying to muscle in on their turf.
Yeah, yeah.
Or maybe he's, like, doing some atrocities that they don't agree with. Like, they're bad, but they're not, like, Penguin bad.
Yeah.
And they're like, look, what you're doing to these orphans, let's say,
yeah, yeah,
is, like, no good, mate.
That's no
It's
good,
just
mate.
no good, mate.
That's obviously Margot Robbie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Boy, mate, cut that shit out.
Yeah. Yeah, look, I don't disagree. I think the Penguin probably makes for a better Birds of Prey villain than he would a Batman villain, only in the sense of, it's kind of like Batman is probably a little bit too overpowered for a Penguin.
Yeah, and
right?
that's exactly what I was thinking. Is like, whenever you think of the Penguin, like any kind of rendition of him, he's kind of like this short, portly little fellow.
He knows things.
He knows Penguin foo.
He's got that cane with the knife in it.
Oh, that's super dangerous.
That's a thing. He has complete control of all sea animals. Oh, no, that's Aquaman. But he's got complete control of all sea animals that are penguins.
Whoa.
Which I don't even know if he has that.
I remember in the original Batman movie.
Batman Returns.
Yeah. Was it Batman Returns?
It was Batman Returns.
Like, didn't the penguins have, like, little tracking beacons on them that he controlled?
They were, like, remote controlled.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was pretty amazing. Yeah, but, they threw themselves into their job. They loved it.
Yeah.
And they got fed fish. Eh? Who doesn't want to get paid fish? So this week we're heading back to a galaxy far, far and away to review Solo.
Yeah, we did.
A Star Wars story. It's the second of the anthology movies released under Disney Star Wars, following on from Rogue One, a Star Wars story. Isn't it?
I think it is, Troy. And it's our first Solo movie, and that's like no pun intended.
Right.
But
True.
Actually, we didn't actually talk about earlier the reports that we're going to get a Boba Fett movie.
Oh, yeah, that's happening.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I'm excited. I'm more excited for the fact that it's James Mangold that's going to be directing. So the director of Logan.
How cool is that?
Directing Boba Fett. But I've never been a massive fan of Boba Fett.
He's a guy that like comes into the scene, does like two things, and then leaves for the rest of the movie.
You know what he is? He's a guy that looks really cool.
Yes.
And should be awesome. And somehow it's ingrained in our minds that he is. But then when you look at his exploits on screen,
they're terrible.
He did fuck all.
Yeah.
He literally did fuck all. But
I think it's the aura that surrounds this character that, he's the most feared bounty hunter in all of the galaxy. Like his legend is actually better than the man is.
Yeah, well, maybe there's more to him than we know. Because again, as we've spoken about many, many times, very big Star Wars fans, or I am anyway, but my fandom lies purely within the movie realms. I don't read the comics. I definitely don't read the books. I haven't watched Rebels, all that sort of stuff. You know what I mean?
I thought of jumping on the Rebels train.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Apparently it's great.
Yeah.
Apparently it's really, really good.
Same with Clone Wars, but I honestly did start and I just couldn't do it. It's just more like, I don't know. There's just too much to catch up on.
There
you know
is.
What I mean?
There's so much Star Wars out there now.
There is. But anyway, we're talking about Solo. And what's this movie about?
So, during an adventure into the criminal underworld, Han Solo meets his future co-pilot Chewbacca and encounters Lando Calrissian some 10 years before joining the rebellion.
That's right.
Is that like the official synopsis?
I don't know. It's one of them.
Wow, that's very bland.
I might have changed it up a little bit.
Oh, this is
not
a Troy.
really. No,
Yeah?
no. I think I only added like 1 or 2 words, but yeah.
Yeah, right.
That's it. That's pretty much how IMDb's got it, and I think it is from, from the production company.
Wow.
Yeah.
Hey,
Anyway.
go write the most vanilla synopsis that you can,
Yeah.
because that's all this movie's going to get you.
Yeah. Look, it does star Alden Ehrenreich as Han Solo, Woody Harrelson as Beckett, Emilia Clarke as Kira, Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian, with Junius Suotomo as Chewie. Second time now that we've had a movie without Peter Mayhew as Chewie. First one being, of course, The Last Jedi. It was Junius Suotomo as Chewie there as well. Paul Bettany as Dryden Voss, and Phoebe Waller-Bridge as L337, among others. There's other people in this movie as well. They're out there.
They're background extras. There's a couple of them.
Yeah, for sure. Now, directed by Ron Howard, as we know, with a runtime of 135 minutes, and partly directed by Phil Lord and Chris Miller.
Yeah, now it would have been interesting to see like how much of their shoots made it into this movie.
Well, they did get they got a production credit.
Yeah, they did.
At the
They
end.
didn't get any directing credit.
Yep.
But, mate, do you reckon Ron Howard shot more than 60% of this film?
Reports are that he shot about 80% of the film.
Holy moly.
And in doing so, made it the most expensive Star Wars movie ever made.
Are you kidding me?
I am not kidding you, my friend. I am not.
Holy crap.
It cost a reported, well, we don't know. It's estimated to be about $250 million for this movie, making it more expensive than The Force Awakens at $220 million.
That's insane.
So $30 million more for this movie than for The Force Awakens. Open soft. Realistically, so it had a domestic opening of $84.4 million, foreign $69.6 for a grand worldwide total of time of recording for $172 million. It is looking to win its second weekend again, but it's not. Oh man, it's got a tough task ahead to actually make its money back.
Yeah, definitely. And I mean, let's have a look at the critical reception here. IMDb give it a 7.2 out of 10.
Yep.
Rotten Tomatoes, 70% fresh.
Yep.
With an audience score of 62%. Now, that's not uncommon when you get a Star Wars movie, because you got the...
Nowadays.
Yeah, well, these days, because it's like Star Wars fans are like, I never want to see another Star Wars movie. I love Star Wars, but don't you dare give me any more of it.
Don't give me another Star Wars movie.
Because I fucking will hate it.
Yeah, nobody asked for a damn Solo movie. Damn you.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Metacritic gives it a 62, and CinemaScore is an A-.
Yeah.
So the critics aren't hating this movie.
No.
It seems to be getting pretty good results there.
Relatively, yeah. Like, it's not bad. Now, again, audience response has been a bit less, but I kind of refuse to believe it these days, man. Like, after all the kerfuffle with The Last Jedi, which, I've been on record as saying I absolutely loved, with a lot of people coming out and say it was like the worst movie they've ever seen, like stuff like that. It might have been bad for you,
but it's not the worst movie you've ever seen.
Movie you've ever seen. Come on now.
Come
on now. Everybody knows The Rock is in that movie, probably. All right. Let's talk about it, man. Let's get into it. We're going to keep it non-spoilery for a little bit. We're going to do that for maybe about 10 minutes or so. What are your overall thoughts?
I love this movie.
Yes. Okay. Interesting.
You know what? I don't know how, but this might be one of my favorite Star Wars movies ever.
Damn.
Yeah, and that's because there's like no space wizards. There's like there's everything that like makes Star Wars.
Yep. Without space wizards.
Without space wizards, like doesn't really affect this movie.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool, because this is like Star Wars. This is the universe without that little story being told.
Well, this is kind of the future of what Star Wars movies are going to be, in the sense, I know we're going backwards, because it's set 10 years previous, but this is kind of the future in the sense of we are going to lose the Skywalker saga. We might possibly move away from, a lot of the characters that we know and love. And I know, we're talking about a movie with Han and Chewie and all that sort of stuff, but what I mean is, this is the first of these movies to not have anything to do with the Skywalkers.
Yes.
To not have anything to do, there's no C-3PO. this is the first time ever that there is no C-3PO or R2-D2.
Yeah, right.
So it's kind of like, this is where we're sort of heading to, and yeah, I don't mind it. Keep going.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it because I went into this movie, I had like zero expectations. I didn't want to go see it, but I only saw it because we were reviewing it for this podcast.
Yeah.
I went and saw it on my own. I was like, man, this has like everything going against it.
Yeah.
So I went in there, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to fucking spoil myself. So got myself good tickets, got myself some like chocolates and some frozen drink and sit there. Pretty much the only person in this damn cinema.
Yeah.
Fuck, I loved every second of it.
Yeah, right.
And like there's reports out there that people are saying like this movie's slow, it's like it's boring. It's like, mate, I loved like every fucking second of this movie because it was like this is showing me stuff that I've never seen really before in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah.
This is like filling in like those tiny little things where I'm like, hey, I know that. I know that.
Yeah, for sure.
And it's just like, man, I could come into this movie and not know it's Star Wars and fucking have a good time.
Yeah.
This is almost like Blade Runner meets Star Wars.
Yeah, okay, sort of, yeah. I get that. I am surprised, but I am with you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I had a really good time as well. I love, you touched on it briefly, that, you get to see a lot of the things that you know now already, and they show you, how, like, the Han's lucky dice.
Yeah.
We get to see how he meets Chewie. We get to see him speak Wookiee, which, it's like...
That's amazing.
Yeah, and it's the first time a non-Wookiee has ever spoken Wookiee in a Star Wars movie. You know what I mean? It's like it's cool things like that, and we get to see the Millennium Falcon for the first time, and we kind of get to see how it becomes the ship that we know.
Yep.
All that sort of stuff. You've got to like give mad props to Donald Glover as Lando Calrissian, and considering there was a lot of talk about how poor Alden Ehrenreich's performance was, you've kind of got to go, well, you were fucking wrong, weren't you?
Yeah, this guy acted his ass off, man.
Yeah.
Like, there's some moments in there where he just captures the like charisma and like just those fine little details of Han Solo.
Yeah.
And you're just like, I believe it.
So there's a lot of complaints about, he doesn't sound enough like, like Harrison Ford and stuff like that.
Oh, he's a fucking different person.
Yeah, it's, you can't get Harrison Ford jumping in a time machine, going back, being young, doing this movie in the future somehow. Like, it just, the laws of physics won't allow it. So what you need to do is you kind of need to separate yourself from that and go, this is somebody else's interpretation of this.
Yes.
It's not going to be a direct ripoff, nor should it be, right? That's how I see it anyway.
Absolutely. Like, don't go into this movie being that type of dickhead.
Well, I guess what I mean is I wouldn't want to go there and see somebody just trying to be a young Harrison Ford.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Because it kind of, it's not personal enough. You're just basically impersonating Harrison Ford.
Exactly.
And Harrison Ford has come out and said, that he loves it. And of course, the detractors of that are saying he's been paid to say that, and you just can't win. So, we've got to go in and, we've got to form our own thoughts. I guess if I had one sort of real kind of drawback, you did mention that people are saying it's boring.
Yeah.
I didn't find that at all. I just thought it was a bit long. So 2 hours and 15 minutes, I really feel like it could have been 2 hours or just under. I think there was a bit of like getting towards the end in the third act, which we'll talk about, more when we get into spoilers. I feel like there was a little bit there that was probably dragged on a little bit too long. And it's kind of like, oh, it's going to end here, and then it keeps going. It's like, oh, it's going to end here, and then it keeps going. It's like a Lord of the Rings-ish type of thing.
But the thing is, like, that's a very much a Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
Like, those movies, they could probably end each movie 15, 20 minutes earlier. But these ones, like, it's just a Star Wars trope. Like, you can't go back to any of those other movies and say, oh, the pacing was a bit off. Because they are with all of them.
Well, I guess you could say with The Empire Strikes Back, because it finishes on a cliffhanger. Yeah. So you know what I mean? It actually ends without it giving you anything. On the end, you got to wait until the next goddamn movie to see what happens. But look, I really enjoyed it. Like I said, a little bit of a problem with the pacing towards the end. Maybe 15, 20 minutes too long, but that's really it for me. Yeah. I mean, like it kicks into gear pretty much straight away. Like you get action from the start. Yep. And it kind of keeps it up. You know what I mean? There are little bits and pieces here and there where it lulls, but it's not enough to make you go, you know what, this is boring me.
Yeah, absolutely. I think what people are confusing boring with is
lack of action,
lack of stakes.
Okay.
Because this movie the stakes really aren't ever there. They're never really high.
Well, the stakes only affect them.
Yeah.
And I guess that's the thing. And, but the way it plays out is this, kind of like it, again, we've spoken about this a few times about, it having its own little subgenre and this being a heist movie, almost like a Westernish type of heist movie. You know what I mean? It's kind of, it works really good in that, and it keeps it kind of contained. So the stakes don't affect, it's not a whole planet at risk.
Yeah, that's right.
It's not the whole universe, like it is with Infinity War or anything like that. Realistically, it's just them. They're the only people that are going to be hurt if stuff goes wrong.
That's right.
And so, yeah, lack of stakes, I guess, but not for them.
Yeah, exactly.
Not if you're Han fucking Solo.
You're dumb, mate.
You know what I mean?
Not if you're Woody Bloody Harrelson.
Exactly. So, anyway, is it worth your precious time and hard-earned money, Cade?
Oh, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. Go out and, spoil yourself with this movie, because, if you feel like it's going to be, a bit of a trudge, go enjoy it in, the best comfort that you can.
Yeah. For sure. I fully agree. Definitely worth your time. Definitely worth your money. Get out there and see it. Get out there and see it, damn it. We're going to talk about spoilers now. So if you haven't seen it yet, hey, we'll see you later. We'll catch you on the flip side, the flippity flop. We're about to talk spoilers. Cade, talk to me, man.
Man, what is there really to say about these spoilers? The thing is, the movie is a little bit predictable in a lot of sense, basically.
Yeah.
A few things I kind of want to touch on is Beckett, so Woody Harrelson's character.
Yeah.
Doesn't really play that much of a role, and I feel like everything he did was quite predictable.
Yeah.
I and this is just my thoughts on it, is that you go into this movie, and if you actually go back to previous episodes, I've gone in and said, this guy's going to turn on him at the end.
Yeah.
Or he'll be the villain. And it kind of turns out that's exactly what happens.
Yeah.
There was nothing in there that was ever going to make me go, oh, yeah, what a surprise. You got me.
I got 2 words for you. Darth Maul.
Okay. That, mate, I got a Han Solo boner right there.
Yeah, yep.
I wasn't going to go straight to that.
Well,
But, okay, let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah, that got me.
Yeah.
That got me. Holy moly. This is going to be a trilogy, isn't it?
Well, I don't know how they're going to do it, but it's really going to depend on how much money this makes. And I know it's suffered a lot from production problems and stuff like that. And this isn't one of these things where we know all the problems that happened. We know they were well into production by the time they got Phil Lord and Chris Miller got canned and Ron Howard had to come in. But for something that's gone through that much shit, you don't really see it. Now, I think that's the Lucasfilm effect, because same thing, well, not as bad, but a similar thing happened with Rogue One, made no difference whatsoever. You know what I mean? So they can pull it together, and they can get their shit together, and they can make a good movie.
Yeah, definitely.
With pulling out this Darth Maul thing, though, it's kind of it's like, hey, remember this character that everybody fucking loved to death, and he just got killed off pretty, sort of unceremoniously in one of the greatest friggin' lightsaber duels ever to be on the screen ever.
Oh, and the greatest score to probably go with it?
Quite possibly. So, yeah, it's kind of hey, he ain't dead. You thought he was dead. He ain't dead. Well, now, people might know that because he is in Star Wars Rebels.
Yeah, as a fucking spider thing.
Yeah, but if you don't watch Star Wars Rebels, you just think it like
know.
me. Hey, Darth Maul's dead.
Yeah.
But he's got robot legs now.
Yeah.
Basically.
He's like the stuff for nightmares.
He is. He's got normal body, horny head, and robot legs. Yeah, he's got robot.
He's
robot
kind of
booty.
the best way to put it is, you remember in Toy Story there was that doll's head that was on the spider legs?
Yeah.
That's him.
Yeah, pretty much.
Just with spikes in his head.
Yeah. I did like it how he completely unnecessarily lit both ends of his lightsaber while he's just on a teleconference
That's
call.
not just me.
No. He's just on a teleconference hologram call to Kira, and it's oh, by the way, check out this fucking cool ass lightsaber I've got.
He's he only did that to impress her.
Remember this from 99?
Yeah.
This is still a fucking thing. Yeah.
That was good. I'm glad I wasn't the only one who was why did he do that?
No.
Is there a cameraman there who's filming him for the telephone call, and he's just cool, man. Nice lightsaber.
Yeah, I don't know. It was good. We all wanted to see it. Don't act like it's it's the I don't know. It's the money shot, really, isn't it?
I want to talk about a character in this movie two characters, Troy.
Okay.
I want to talk about Lando.
Yes, let's do that.
Holy moly, scene stealer.
Yeah, oh, hell yeah.
And everything. Like, give me a Lando movie.
Well, they're going to.
No, they're not.
Yeah, they are.
Are they really?
Yeah, it's been pretty much so. Donald Glover has come out and he said, yeah, I'm keen. Let's do it. And I think they've actually come out and said, we are going to give you a spin-off.
Wow.
I think that's official from Lucasfilm.
Holy moly.
Yeah, so Lando Calrissian Lando Calrissian, a Star Wars story. Or maybe it's just Lando. Lando, a Star Wars story.
Yeah.
Coming to a cinema near you.
That's cool.
Yeah.
That's very cool. And I want to talk about L3.
Okay.
The woman robot.
Yeah, the woman robot.
The woman robot.
Yeah.
I felt weird about this character.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
Okay. How come?
It felt like it was pushing like an agenda and not subtly.
I don't see it that way, but how I kind of like, I was disappointed in the character in the sense of like, I felt that they kind of tried to take Sassy Droid and amp it up again.
Yeah.
So we've already had a Sassy Droid with C-3PO. Then we've had another Sassy Droid with K2SO. And it's like, let's give us another Sassy Droid, but make this the sassiest droid you've got. And that's what they did.
Yeah. Too sassy.
Yeah.
Too sassy. What they made they made the robot weird by like sexualizing it.
Yeah. It's, like I sort of I can get why they're doing that, but it's I don't know. It's not that I necessarily agree with it or disagree with it. I don't know how I would have done it, but I think I was just annoyed that it was too sassy.
Yeah.
Me personally.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah.
I felt like it was uncomfortable in some points.
Really?
But in some points, like the humor hit well with it.
You're not for droid human into droid human relationships?
Only in Futurama.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's fair.
Or if it's Scarlet Witch and
Vision.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's fair. Look, I guess yeah, it is what it is. What are you going to do? What I do like, though, is that how they basically they merged her with the Millennium Falcon.
Yeah, that was cool.
Which is cool because it's a throwback to when C-3PO tries to like jump into the Millennium Falcon's mainframe or whatever, and he's trying to communicate with it, but he kind of says that it's being rather rude. And I think that's kind of like, they've played that off well. So the character that they've created works well for that kind of that line back in, 78 or 77 or whatever it was.
I'm so concerned about the humanoid robots in this Star Wars universe.
Really?
I don't know. I'm not sure why they're programmed the way they are.
Yeah, well, they
don't even know. It's like they're built and programmed to be personalities rather than assistants.
What's wrong with that?
Well, I don't know, Troy. Go make some real friends, mate.
Look,
don't build a friend.
Look, I think you've got a problem with robots.
Yeah.
I think you'd be one of these robot oppressors.
Yeah, I am.
You know what I mean?
I'm going to get a shirt. Fuck robots. Not literally.
You'd put one of those yeah, you'd need to word it differently. Yeah, maybe just that. Fuck robots, not literally.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then like a picture of L3 with the big cross through it.
Anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about Akira for a sec.
Yeah, didn't like her.
Oh, come on, man.
No. Like, okay, what I didn't like is how out of the whole galaxy, Troy, these two meet up in this one place.
Look, I get that.
Like, I was like, fuck off.
Yeah.
Like, no. I can go to another city in Australia and run into someone I know. I'm like, okay, like, what are the odds of that? But in the galaxy, Troy?
Yeah.
No.
Well, look, that you would assume that they're kind of still within the same kind of area, like within, like a 3-4 planet kind of, but yeah, I had the same problem. I had two problems with the movie. One of them was a little bit long in the end, and the other bit was like way too convenient.
Yeah.
Just way too convenient. And we never found out how she got there.
Exactly.
There was no kind of payoff to her storyline at all.
None at all. And
it's
because of that, I don't care.
Yeah. It's kind of like, I'm here because I need to be here because this is what the plot wants.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I have these, you don't know me anymore, but I have skills now.
Yeah.
I've got mad skills.
Like, I've seen some things but I'm never going to tell you or the audience what those things are.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
But I also know Darth Maul,
Yeah.
who has a sick double-ended lightsaber.
I've seen it.
Yeah.
Or if I haven't, I'm gonna by the end of the movie. Yeah. But I thought she was fine. I really like Emilia Clarke. I don't care what anybody says. I think she's cute as hell. So she could be in anything and I'll watch it. Let's talk about Lando and Chewie. So good.
So good, man.
So goddamn good.
I really love...
Oh, sorry, not Lando and Chewie. Han and Chewie, obviously.
Han and Chewie, yeah. I really love the way they met.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't realize Chewie was like such a fierce thing. Like,
yeah, hell yeah.
Like down there eating people. Like he hasn't been fed in 3 days.
Right, he's just got to do what he's got to do to survive,
but
right?
Like, if you think of that, man, like Chewbacca's like big, but he's not like super big. Like if someone came to you, I'm going to put this into a relative term and it's going to seem so fucking weird.
Okay.
But like if someone came to you with a person who was 2 foot shorter than you,
yeah,
would you eat that whole person in 3 days?
If I was a Wookiee and I was hungry.
No, I'm saying you. I'm doing it in a relative sense.
Well, no, because, you know, I haven't eaten humans before. Nor have I ever been hungry enough to go, hey, maybe I'm going to try eat that dude's arm off.
Well, you know what? Do not take a plane up into the Andes.
Yeah, I won't. But yeah, look, like I get it. It's fine. It is what it is, you know. And he is, you know, I think they played it off really well. I think you'd have a hard time kind of like trusting him for a while because he has a taste of human flesh.
Exactly.
So, you know, you're going to wake up one morning and he's going to be chewing on your arm while you're sleeping.
Yep.
But I do like the way they built the kind of, you know, the connection that the two of them had.
Yeah, that camaraderie. Yeah.
So, and you do see that, you know, they do care for each other and you can see why they would still be together all these years later. And, you know, they do the whole, you know, he pulls 2 arms off a guard sort of thing. Yep. And then that's a reference, like that's a throwback. And then there's the chest, the hologram chest and all that sort of stuff. That's a throwback. I loved all the little throwbacks, man. I love it. I love it so much.
Well, it's a throw forward, really, isn't it, mate?
Well, you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Don't try to time travel me, son.
Okay, Kessel Run. Let's talk about it.
All right, let's talk about it.
Surprised this wasn't the last
12 point something parsecs.
It was 12.7.
But you got to round
12.7.
it down. You round it down.
Yeah. Now, Troy, there's a bit of like confusion around this.
Okay, how
parsec is a measure of distance in the Star Wars universe.
Well, that's how it's been forever.
That's how it's been forever. How do you do it in a shorter time?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's weird, isn't it?
It's one of those things that it's like but I'm sure that there is a person out there that can answer that for us.
Surely.
So tell us. Hey, how do you do a parsec quicker than someone else?
Yeah. That's like how do you do a kilometer quicker than another person?
Well, you just have a quicker car.
Well,
but it's not but
that's not how it works.
Yeah. It's like how do I run 100 meters less?
Yeah.
Than someone running 100 meters.
But it's a set distance.
Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah.
Look, yeah, that's
it's
fine.
It's one of those like confusing loopholes that Star Wars brings on.
It's one of those things. But I really like that. I like that whole sequence, man. I thought it was cool. I like that we ended up on the spice mines of Kessel. All of that shit. All of it. And I guess that's kind of why, like, maybe I enjoyed it more as a fan because there's just so many callbacks to the other movies.
Yeah.
And it's kind of like, you know, it's, you know, you can kind of, I guess, get enough enjoyment just out of that. But I really liked the movie, man. I think the action was great. I think the performances were great. I think everybody did a great job. I think it was well paced. I think we kind of got... with Enfys Nest, a bit of the start of the rebellion.
Yes, and this is what I was just about to touch on, is like, where's this kind of fall into the, I guess, timeline of everything?
Oh, well, this is set 10 years before the events of A New Hope.
Okay.
Right? So when we get to A New Hope, the rebellion is well underway.
Yeah.
We know that. So that's fine. And this is, you know, we've still got, and this is another thing that I've tried to explain to a couple of people. The Han Solo that we're getting in this movie is still not the Han Solo that we get in A New Hope.
Yeah, of course.
There's 10 years of shit. There's 10 years of being a smuggler. There's 10 years of, you know, fucking up, you know, your run with Jabba the Hutt, you know, and being under his sort of, you know, oppressive thumb and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
So much more to come for that character before we actually see him in A New Hope. So, you know, you can't say, oh, well, you know, it still hasn't like answered any of the questions or whatever. But There's plenty more to come.
Well, you know what it does answer, Troy?
What?
We do know Han did shoot first.
Oh, damn. He didn't even
give the guy a chance.
Yeah, he did. He shot him dead, and we're talking about Beckett, of course. Beckett with the old double cross, which you said you saw coming, and so did I, to be honest with you. I guess what I didn't see, though, was Han killing him outright.
Yeah.
Like, just straight up dead. But that's fine. That happened. I guess I didn't see Kira taking her turn. You know what I mean? Like, that was a bit more of a throw.
Yeah, but even then I wasn't like, oh my God.
Well, you kind of know, like, you basically from what we know of the character of Han Solo, it's not like he has a girlfriend.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? He doesn't have a long-time girl that he's, been hanging out with for the last 10 years, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, princess, you say. Well, yeah. So we get that obviously something happens, and it's probably going to happen in this movie, but Crimson Dawn? Was that what it was?
I think so.
Yeah. She goes to Crimson Dawn. She becomes she was already a lieutenant.
Yeah, she was high.
She was high.
Oh, yeah.
She becomes like whatever Dryden Voss was.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Vision. He was in this movie.
Great. I loved him.
Yeah, he was cool. Like, he didn't do anything. Like, I mean, this is kind of like, this is the main antagonist, but kind of isn't, because, there's not really lot that he does.
He was too charming for his own good.
Oh, yeah, big scars on his face and all.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Like, he was, like, too charming.
Yeah.
Way too charming. He's like, I am just the best man here. And, like, if you fuck with me one more time, Han Solo, I'm going to have your balls.
Well, he was originally portrayed by Kenneth Michael Williams, and he couldn't commit to like the role. Like, he basically had he had already started performance, but then had scheduling conflicts with something else, and decided that he wasn't going to do that. And then that's when they brought in Paul Bettany, and that's why we got the Dryden Voss that we ended up with.
Good choice.
Yeah, great choice, but it just goes to show like what this movie was up against.
Yeah,
from the start. So I think for all the shit that it went through, like, it's done a really freaking good job, man.
So let's wrap it up. Obviously, hits with both of us, Troy. Got
it's a
one
hit.
question for you.
What's that?
Do you want more Solo movies?
I do.
Yeah.
I would. I always try to judge a movie on if I've seen it, would I go and see it again fairly quickly? And this one I would. It's not one of these ones that I'm kind of like, oh, well, I've seen it now. I can wait for it to come out on, VOD or whatever. I want to see it again.
Yeah, it's good fun.
And I think because of that, I want more. I want to see, like, there's so much more story to tell between, the ending of this movie and, A New Hope. So tell it. And let old Ehrenreich do it.
Hell yeah. I want more. Give it to me. Tell me everything that's in between. And just keep the fun coming, baby. And that's going to do it for another episode. Stay tuned next week when we do a pretty cool episode. I'm actually excited about this one.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited about this one. I think it's going to be cool.
Yeah,
it's going to be hard.
Yeah, it's going to be really hard. This might be like, do you want to do it as a top 5?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
The best way to do it.
Yeah, and people like the top 5 episodes.
Yeah, they get into it.
Yeah, it's like they've been BuzzFeed.
Yeah.
BuzzFed?
BuzzFed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
BuzzFeeded?
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah, anyway. So we're going to do our top 5 TV characters of all time.
Characters. Individual characters. You think about that for a second.
Yeah, holy moly.
Jeebus. So that's coming next week. Man, this was a quick episode.
I don't know if it's that quick.
It was like 12 parsecs, easy.
Nah.
Yeah.
Nah.
Easy 12.
No, mate.
12.7.
Yeah.
12.75.
Do you think it's like 12.7?
Hey?
Do you reckon it's 12.7?
I don't remember them saying exactly what it was. I just remember Chewbacca making a comment and then Han saying, oh, well, it's better when you round down.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's it.
Nice.
Anyway. Hey, where can people find us, man?
People can find us on Facebook. That's Comic Confidential Podcast. We also have a listener community, and that's the Comic Confidential Listener Community. Search that on Facebook and join the group. Join other great listeners of the show. Great topics in there. Good chats. Good
chats.
Friends.
Yep. Spicy memes.
Spicy memes. We've got a new website, Troy.
Whoa.
Yeah, we do. So that's comicconpod.com.
That's the same.
It's No, it is new.
That's not new.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. comicconpod.com.
Yeah.
I'm going to bring it up.
Oh, you're going to have
this is my Google. I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, haven't you seen it?
No.
Oh, okay.
No, keep talking.
Okay, so yeah, you can find us on ComicConPod.com. Yeah, ComicConPod.com. Past episodes, future episodes, and everything in between. I am butchering this last segment. We also have an Instagram and Twitter. That's at ComicConPod. If you want to chat to us directly, you can do that too.
Yeah. What else we got? We got a Patreon. That's patreon.com/ComicConPod, where you can support the show for as little as $1 a month.
That's very cheap.
That's very cheap.
And what do you get for $1 a month, Troy?
I don't know. What do you get?
You get one bonus episode every week.
Every week. That's a guarantee.
Guaranteed. And people are loving them.
Yeah.
They are ludicrous episodes that you would never hear on this show.
Yeah. Also, not really safe for the family.
No.
By the way. So, yeah, if you do decide to join for the $1 a month and you do get these little unplugged episodes, do not play them in front of your kids. It is
don't
not
even
for
play them in front of your wife.
Yeah. Or if you are the wife, don't play it in front of your husband or your mum or your dad. Just don't play it.
I reckon the dad would like it. Definitely not the mum.
It's for headphones only. Yeah, so that's a thing. And then we've got a whole new show, Netflix and Chat, for $5 and above people. That's for them.
That's right.
Yeah. Now, I have jumped on the website, ComicConPod.com, and it is, it's good. It's nice. It's new. It's got that picture that I love so much of us that I'm the biggest fan of. Yeah, it's cool. I like it. You've done well.
And just keep an eye on that website because who knows, maybe it'll be growing.
Hey, who knows?
Who knows?
Might be some things happening in the very near future. Man, that's all I got.
That's all you got. Let's
wrap it. That's all I got. All right. Hey, you. Thanks for listening. As always, I'm Troy.
I'm Cade.
And this has been Comic Confidential.
Cheers.
Peace.
That's a great picture of you.
I fucking hate that picture, man. And you use it on everything.
It's because you look so handsome.
I don't know what. It's not a terrible picture in the grand scheme of terrible pictures. I've taken way worse pictures than that.
I've taken way worse pictures of you.
Yeah, exactly. But it is what it is, man. It is what it is.
Look how muscly your arms are.
Well, that's just because they're positioned closer to the camera. They look weird.
They don't look weird.
They look like there are giant's forearms on a normal human's body.
Yep. That's what your arms look like. You're a muscle boy.
And looking, it's fine. You look slim.
Yeah, that's why I keep it.
I fucking knew it was. It's look, I look, at least 20 kilos less lighter. Anyway.
Good lighting, my friend. Good lighting. If you love this podcast, then head over to ComicConPod.com to check out the other incredible shows on our network.
You can also support us on Patreon from as little as $1 a month.
You'll get early access to all our shows, plus secret supporter content that's not available to the public.
Head over to patreon.com/ComicConPod to find out more.